I'm at Friendship Hill National Historic Site. I just parked. I'm the only visitor here, and I see a deer. Oh, it's gonna rain later. Just had a delicious breakfast at the Smithfield Diner in Smithfield, Pennsylvania. Go there, mom and pop place. Had the coal miner's breakfast. Delicious. Filled my tummy. Had a couple cups of coffee. So, all right, gonna use the restroom and then go visit the house and the grounds. This guy, Albert Gallatin, who owned this estate. He was a Secretary of Treasury for Presidents Jefferson and Madison. He came from Switzerland, but ended up playing a huge role in our own government, to include helping with the Lewis and Clark expedition. And once again, this is in Point Marion, Pennsylvania. Coming up to the main house, I guess. These are beautiful grounds, by the way. The drive-in. Now, I don't know if when he was here, if the grounds had those beautiful trees lining the driveway, but they do today. This is a lot of grass to mow. Maybe he had some goats or something to help with that. If you have a handicap placard, you can actually come up the first driveway and park up here. I am not handicapped, do not have a placard. You park in the lower parking lot. So once again, this is Friendship Hill National Historic Site. Considered his wilderness home. Hoping this was a child's bed. That thing is tiny. Inside one of the original parts of the house. Check out the view outside the window. So I'm walking along the main loop, the green loop, here at Friendship Hill. It's about 3.8 miles, except I don't think I'm doing the whole thing. I'm just doing a part of it. I should be coming up somewhere over this little bluff. Sophia Gallatin's grave, one of Gallatin's first wives. And this is what you don't do in the woods. This actually kills a tree. So this is considered Sophia's Woods, which is kind of funny that they would name this area after her, when she wasn't really a big fan of coming out here to the western frontier in the late 18th century. She preferred Philadelphia or New York, the glamour and lights of action. Go down below the cliffs where the gazebo is up top. All the way down into the gorge along the Helga River. Yeah, I'm not so good at these old Indian names. So glad I'm not getting foot surgery until next month. Part of the reason why I'm trying to fit in as much fun and adventure, because once I get that foot surgery, I won't be having any fun for a while. And if you're wondering what I'm talking about foot surgery, go back a couple months in my video library and look at the video Attack of the Bunion. Yeah, I got a bunion. A toe that's a little too large or long. They're gonna fix me up. And the podiatrist already warned me that I have to behave, not go on adventures for a little while until he gives me the clearing. Otherwise, he'll put me in an actual cast. I don't want to be in a cast. That makes me even less mobile. Not looking forward to crutches either, really. All right, so I'm down there. I started up there and just straight shot until I hit that south cutoff. So I'm heading up on the yellow cutoff trail, which means up. Up and up and up and up and up. Video doesn't do it justice. It gets deep up near the top. That's where I started off here at Friendship Hill National Historic Site. I've walked just over 2 miles. Got a little bit of a sweat going on. A little out of shape. Of course, I rode 41.5 miles yesterday. But I am done here. Oh, glory. I'm here at the Trailhead parking lot where after George Washington surrendered at Fort Necessity to the French. So right here next to this little creek, right where I'm standing at, is where Major General Edward Braddock was buried on July 14, 1755. And then in 1804, his remains were found here and brought up to the hill where I was just at. Coming up on the area that is considered Fort Necessity, where George Washington set off the American campaign of the French and Indian War. Well, American. We were still a British colony at the time. Pretty certain the fort wasn't this small. Actually, apparently it was, according to the brochure. You can kind of hear the traffic on Highway 40. Pretty certain this berm isn't going to keep the British out, or the British in, the French out. There we go. Well, can't get inside the building because there's a lock on it. Let's see if I can kind of see some wares inside. Not much of a fort. Not, but when you're thinking 1754, yep, it's pouring out. I'm getting wet. It's okay. So I'm currently on the little trail here. It's still kind of spitting out, but the heavy rain. I went inside, watched about a 20-minute film about Fort Necessity, as well as the National Road, which is Route 40, which is up the hill here. It was built as the National Road, connecting with the Baltimore Pike, which goes from Baltimore to Cumberland. It's basically Route 40 all the way before Interstate 70 and 68 were built. That was the main thoroughfare to get west, eventually to Vidalia, Illinois, where actually, it's funny, I had my 23rd birthday there at a Pizza Hut while I was traveling from the East Coast back home to Arizona. Oop, a little bit of mud. So cool how much history is right here nearby us. All right, about to get to a steep little hill. Inside of the Washington Tavern, of course, named after George Washington, who owned the property here at Great Meadows after the French and Indian War. It's raining out again. I was talking to the blacksmith outside who was making hooks. One of the bedrooms. This is like a 1800s style hostel. You wouldn't necessarily get your own private room. You might have to share it with somebody, like here with this trundle bed. A wash basin. So this tavern boarding house is right along Route 40, or the National Road. People traveling for days from Baltimore and points east and Chicago and points west would come and rest here. Go out and look upon the parking lot. And there's Route 40 in the mountains. There's a dining room where you would sit family style and eat all you can eat for 25 cents. Continue my trip east on the National Road. It's gonna take me a bit longer to get home, but might as well stay off the beaten path. Got to watch the demonstration by the blacksmith up there at George Washington's Tavern. Was not able to get a pint. Unfortunately, the tavern's closed since 1839 or so. Still kind of sprinkling out, just being careful as I walk down the treacherous asphalt track here, back down towards the meadow